This is Ursula Hogan, welcoming you to News Extra on Scariff Bay Community Radio, where we feature interviews which go into detail on some of the local events in the news this week. Many people have begun taking an interest in learning Irish, or reviving the Irish they learned at school. A series of classes are about to take place in Dromindoora this month, and Jim Collins spoke with tutor Mary Noonan about the course.
Well, for anybody who is thinking about learning Irish, well, Dromindoora is the place to be, because there are Irish classes starting up there very shortly. And on the line, I have our own Mary Noonan, who reads the Nuacht and translates the Nuacht here on Scariff Bay Community Radio. Mary, tá fáilte rud?
Oh, míle buíochas, Jim. Ceacha bhfuil tú?
Oh, magalore, Mary, magalore. We'll maybe do this in English because we're aiming, I suppose, at people who want to learn Irish as well.
Yes.
I know you have been an avid proponent of the Irish language and the use of the Irish language, not just through your teaching career, but all through your life, really.
Yes, that's true, Jim. I've had a great love for it always. I suppose we were lucky enough to have gone to a primary school where there was a big emphasis on it. And I think when I became a primary teacher myself, I kind of carried that on. The teachers and the SNAs and myself spoke Irish all the time in school, actually.
Yes.
And and even the activities out in the air, sometimes the PE and different, when we would have hurling matches, we would use Irish and Camogie. We would use Irish a lot. But, apart from that, I just love it. And
yes,
it's such a rich and beautiful language, really, isn't it?
It is indeed. And I know that you were saying that your part of the country, Killanena, Dromindoora, that there was Irish spoken there up to what, about a century ago?
That's right, yeah, up to the early 1900s, at the beginning of the 20th century. Most people would think about West Clare and maybe around Ballyvaughan and that as being one of the last bastions of the Irish language. But in fact, Irish was spoken, and only Irish, by a number of people, even in the Dromindoora area. And funnily enough, my own great-grandmother, I didn't actually realise this for many years, until I started doing my family tree and did a lot of other work, came from there. She was from there, and she moved to County Galway. And her brother came to live with him, and he had no English, just Irish he spoke. So we're talking about he was still living there in the 1920s,
yes,
and 1910, 1920. So there was still the Rian na Gaeilge was very much in South Galway, East Clare, and particularly in that area,
Yes,
I always think that was we should remember that, and it's very much part of the heritage.
yes.
And even, as you know yourself, Jim, you can hear the whole sort of the syntax of the Gaeilge in spoken English in so many people in
East Clare,
especially the older people.
And lots of words, remained, certainly up to recently, and maybe they still do, words which were taken directly from the Gaeilge. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I remember in just over 100 years ago now, Edward MacLysaght put together a piece with words that were still in use in, around the Scariff, Tumgraney, Ogunlow area, which were taken directly from Gaeilge. So it lives on, even though it's not spoken anymore.
Yes, no. Although, of course, Jim, there is a huge resurgence in interest. Everywhere we go, we can, there's even right up to this recent months, so there's a resurgence in the whole interest of Irish. And there's probably a number of factors involved in that, as you know yourself. You've got you've got kneecap, and you've got the whole, it's become very cool, really. And as you know, also, you had the Gael Skull all over the place, but quite far from the Gael Skull, and that was its own sort of movement. But now there's almost a different movement. There's an interest, and particularly younger people. And I keep running into people who keep saying to me, God, I wish we could speak it. I really wish we could speak it. And they love, watching TG Carr and I was speaking to a couple of lads recently, and they said, well, Mary, anything you'd ask us about a rugby match, one lad said, and the other lad said more or less the same thing about hurling. I could tell you exactly how to say it, I know, because I watched it so many times.
Yes.
And listened to it on the matches, so.
Yeah, well, I think the sport that TG Carr puts out, particularly hurling, football and rugby, and ladies football, that we all know that ood is a try, and we have, those kind of words have crept in from listening to Radio Nugget or from TG Carr.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Anyway,
you're
about to do something about it, Mary. So tell us, you have been pursued, I suppose, and by people for the last few years asking about it and wishing to do something about it. So you've taken it upon yourselves in Dromindoora and as part of the GA club and the school to put that interest into practical and real teaching and learning.
Well, that's the plan anyway, Jim. So for the last few years I have been the Officer Gael with the Cumann class Gael Kailanening. I've been the Irish officer, and every so often, of course, we have an AGM every year, and I'm the unopposed Irish officer.
a lot of electioneering, I suppose, on your part as well.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, for sure, Jim. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, and I keep saying, really, I should be doing a bit more now than just a couple of fuckle here and there, so. And I've been asked over and over. It's really interesting. I have a few people keep asking me, and they say, and it might come up. We might be at, I don't know, any kind of a function, and people would say, God, I'd love to go do a bit of the Irish again, We wouldn't have to be worrying about grammar, and we wouldn't have to be worrying about written exercises, and basically conversational Irish. With finding, an opportunity to speak it is the biggest problem. As you and I know only too well, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yes.
So, and only from the clock that comes the marstruck, and we have to. The only way you can get any good at anything is to keep at it and practice it and in some kind of fun environment if possible. So that's how we've kind of finally took the bull by the horns and decided that we would start classes. And initially when I brought it up, at our own meeting, and then I mentioned it at the school, we were saying we could use what they have in Dromindoora, which is known as the Breakfast Club, as the venue, which is the building at the rear of the primary school there. And from that, we advertised it, and I nearly had to close it down shortly afterwards because it became, there's been quite a subscription to the idea, as in, a lot of people have signed up for it.
Yes.
And I was kind of blown over by the number of people who are interested in it, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And I suppose they all have their own reasons for wanting to improve their Irish.
They have. And, I was even the other 2 Sundays ago, or whenever we were at Mass there around the Christmas, another woman came up to me. And this woman is probably middle 70s, if not a couple of more with it. And she said to me, God, I'd love to join that class, but sure, I'm too old. I said, stop. You're not too old. Come in. Anyone can join.
Yes.
And there's all kinds of age groups and people from all kinds of different backgrounds. Now, the people who are coming to the improvers class have Gaeilge. It's just some of them haven't used it for a long time, and maybe or think they have forgotten it. But sure, it's there. It's only a matter of
it comes back,
bringing it up again. Yeah. It comes back. It does.
You have 2 different groups, Mary.
Well, I do actually, Jim, because there were also people who've never spoken it. A few people whose parents might have moved to England or America or whatever, or they were born there. And then, of course, some of our new Irish people also interested. And because they have absolutely no Gaeilge, you'd have to have a beginners for that, really, very complete beginners. With that, the beginners are going to be starting on Tuesday, the 13th, and the improvers on Monday, Monday, the 12th.
The 12th.
For the improvers, I think we're going to have to go into the schoolroom.
Yes, yeah, to bring that size of group, which is the majority.
Hopefully we won't have to divide it into 2 different hours. But initially we're going to get together and then we'll make a call on that, from there. But I'm delighted actually. I'm delighted with the response.
And I suppose, Mary, for people who learned Irish in school, who even took Irish in secondary school, maybe as far as the Leaving Cert, the Irish that they have, as you say, it's still in there, but it's a matter of using it to get it out.
Yes, yeah. And for that to happen, really, you just have to kind of create sort of scenarios where they, as I say, take them slightly out of their comfort zone. A lot of sort of setting them 2s and 3s together in little sort of groups of things with a little topic, or as they call speed dating. They have this thing called speed dating, which is just the idea really is that you whatever topic you're on, that you spend a couple of minutes and you move on to someone else and you do it, and you try, and rather than have one person at the top of the room pontificating and them just listening, that's no good. Like, it has to be a situation where they can use everything, on the topic that you're covering or on the topic that you're trying to get them comfortable speaking about.
Yes.
And so we're going to run it for 8 weeks, Jim.
Yes.
And it's going to be €10 per night, and it will be for 80 minutes, but 10 minutes of that will be for a break.
Yes.
So you have 30 minutes, 10-minute break, 30 minutes. And then Rocky Nikish Golea Guji, come and look. Okay, I'll have to change again now.
Yes. The proceeds.
Sorry, excuse me. Thank you. The proceeds from these classes will go towards Cumann Class Gael Kailanenig and for the Breakfast Club, and then whatever any other expenses we incur as part of running, the thing, obviously tea and coffee and whatever.
Yeah.
And the idea really is just to create a little community. I mean, Bernadette has been doing this so successfully in Scariff, Bernadette Watson, for a long time with Conran O'Gailga there. And it's fantastic that it's going ahead. Now, I know Bernadette's classes, I think, happen during the day.
Yes.
But that doesn't always suit people who are working and stuff. And, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll be a success. And I think we'll have a bit of fun, and we'll try and have a song and a bit of a tune each night as well, maybe.
Yes.
And that's all part of our heritage that's related to the Gaeilge as well.
It is, of course. And I suppose, Mary, if it's not a bit of fun, people won't stay at it. And if it's an enjoyable evening, they'll want to come back again and again.
Well, that's what you'd be hoping, anyway.
Yes.
That's what you'd be hoping. Yeah. So you're really going to try and facilitate the situation for them to use what they have and to get more comfortable with it. And, obviously introduce a little bit of Severus Changa, that kind of, trying a little bit of trying to get, because it's such an idiomatic language.
Yes.
And maybe knock some of the fear out of it. People have this idea that Irish is such a complicated language. And you and I know that it isn't actually.
Yes.
It was really the manner in which much of it was taught that didn't help particularly.
It didn't at all.
Especially in our time.
And there was fear as well in actually learning Irish when many of us were in primary school.
Oh, absolutely. Fear of God. So that was a shame.
Mary, you mentioned there that 50% of the proceeds go to the GA, 25% go to the Breakfast Club. What is the Breakfast Club, just as a quick summary?
Okay. Right. So the Breakfast Club was an initiative started a couple of years ago by the Board of Management and the Parents Association of Dromindoora National School. And so they bought an extra building, and they have it at the rear there, it's like a prefabricated building. And they outfitted it out to the left. It's lovely. And they employed a local woman, a wonderful lady, Jeanette, actually. She's fantastic in the Breakfast Club. And so what happens is parents now have the facility to drop off their children on the way to work. And, that road going towards Garth there is always very busy. People are on their way to Limerick or Garth or Ennis. And so it's open from 7:30. And she takes the children in and gives them their breakfast. And then they do crafts and a whole lot of other little things, or they read or they have fun together, and maybe go down to the new AstroTurf that's there. And the teachers come and collect them around 9:10, I think.
Yeah.
And so far it's been really, the parents are delighted with it. Now, it's not a preschool or a play school. You have that fantastic facility at the Lochraney Kids Club off over in Flagmount. But for people whose children are of school-going age, and it's excellent. And they also do after-school care there as well.
Yes.
She does it 2 or 3 evenings a week at the moment. Now, that will depend on what people need.
Yes.
But it's been a fantastic facility actually there, right at the school, at the rear of the school.
Yeah, I know. It sounds a very good thing and beneficial for parents and for children. Mary, I was wondering, did you think you'd be back teaching Ag Múna Gaeilge in Dromindoora Arish?
I most certainly did not. As my husband reminds me ever so often, he said, "Did you not retire 5 years ago?"
Yeah.
I don't think I know what's going on here.
We never retire.
But anyway, no, all teachers never retire, no. But I suppose, look, I'm going to do this for 8 weeks and see how it goes, and really just to provide the opportunity for people. And if it goes well, that's great, and you'd never know, we might do some more weeks at another point.
Yes.
And sure, if it doesn't, we haven't lost anything. It'll be worth the effort, I feel. And people are kind of excited about the idea now. They keep, asking you about it.
I'm sure it'll go well. Well, Mary, Gornamina Mahagut, Chocht Aaron Radio.
Thank you very much.
Agus Ganairi Lat, Ag Múna Gaeilge Arish I Dromindoora. Well done, and hopefully it will go very well. Thank you for coming on the radio today.
Níl buchas Jim, agus aflíonn faoi héamh suairtí go léir. Gur magat.
The Clare Camogie County Convention took place in December in the Woodstock Hotel in Ennis. Pat O Brien was there for Scariff Bay Community Radio, and this is his report.
This is Pat O Brien at the Clare County Camogie Convention, which was held recently at the Woodstock Hotel in Ennis. Pat O Brien, who stepped into the role of chairman of Clare Camogie in mid-2025, will continue in the role for the coming year. He was unopposed for the position at the annual convention, which was held in the Woodstock Hotel. There is just one change to the executive for 2026, with Eileen Gleeson from Tulla Club was appointed to the role of development officer, replacing Cormac Heffernan, Scariff O'Gunlow, who did not seek re-election. No contest took place at convention for any of the positions. Long-serving officials Brian McNamara, PRO Rowan, and Mary McMahon, Assistant PRO Rogue, were returned. Ex-Treasurer Martin Kaiser, Martin Fergus, continues as Assistant Treasurer, with former Secretary Anne Sands, one of the 2 Assistant Secretaries, alongside Josephine Casey of Rowan. In his first address to convention, Chairperson Pat O Brien said, "Convention is a time where we should acknowledge the incredible work of our volunteers all over the county, who gave so much time and commitment to our clubs and players. Without them, we would be nothing." Continuing, Fergus said, "Clare Camogie is in a strong position for 2026. Our membership numbers continue to grow, and the popularity of the game is there for all to see at every grade. The challenge for us is continuously improving everything that we do, including fixtures, competitions, structures, facilities, development squads and funding. That takes time and it takes work. The Executive Committee works tirelessly and voluntarily at an operational and strategic level to develop all aspects of Clare Camogie. Like every organisation, mistakes are made and improvement is required. We should be all working together at the highest level we can towards improving Clare Camogie." He went on to say that Clare Camogie continues to cooperate with Clare Ladies Gaelic Football Association, and we are lucky to have a very good relationship with Clare GA. Deirdre Murphy has been a real friend to us, and we look forward to working with Ursula and Mary Noonan and Kieran Keating as the four codes engage more closely with each other. Detailed reports from a variety of officers to the convention were adopted without any discussion or objections. Delegates were told that Clare Camogie recorded a net surplus of €42,485 in 2025. The total income for the year under review amounted to €231,334, while expenditure for the same period came to €188,848. Gate receipts for the year came to €58,290. Fundraising amounted to €60,405. Registration and affiliations amounted to €47,530. Sponsorship realised €24,655, while grants of €51,400 were secured. Team expenses for the year came to €79,228, down from €93,455 for the same period last year. Transportation costs were €17,920, while catering hotels cost €14,895. Medals and trophies cost €6,577, while personal sports gear cost €18,933, down from €35,926 from the previous year. Field maintenance costs came to €26,337, while administration costs were €4,298. The following are the executive for 2026. President Bridie O'Looney, Immaculate Fergus, Camogie Club. Chairperson Pat O Brien, Broadford Camogie Club. Vice Chairman Joe O'Donnell, Cracklow Camogie Club. Secretary was Gillian McNulty, Rowan Camogie Club. Assistant Secretary Anne Sands de Banner and Josephine Casey Rowan. Treasurer John Hogan de Banner. Assistant Treasurer Martin Kaiser Immaculate Fergus. PRO was Brian McNamara Rowan. Assistant PRO Mary McMahon Rogue. Register Kevin Walsh Wolf Tones. Development Officer Eileen Gleeson Kilnara. Munster Delegates Gillian McNulty Rowan and Eleanor Ward Scariff O'Gunlow. Delegates to Congress were Fiona O'Mahony Smith O'Brien's, Gillian McNulty Rowan, Brian McNamara Rowan and Anne Sands the Banner Club. The Child Welfare Officer was Fiona O'Mahony of Smith O'Brien's. Secondary Schools Servicing Officer was Ciara Grogan with Cloney Quinn. This is Pat O Brien for Scariff Bay Community Radio at the Clare Camogie Convention in the Woodstock Hotel in Ennis.
Last week on Scariff Bay Community Radio, we broadcast a Christmas message from President Connolly. This week we received a seasonal message from the President of the European Parliament, Roberta Metsola. And here is what she had to say.
Merry Christmas. This is the time of the year that gives us all pause to cherish the moments that bring us together. Moments of joy and laughter, of family and friends, of that spirit of togetherness, of the values that bind us together, of peace, compassion, and the enduring hope that Christmas brings for Europe and the rest of the world. This Christmas, as our homes are filled with light, warmth, and laughter, we also reflect on what we can all do in our own way to bring that joy to others, to reach out to the lonely, the vulnerable, and the marginalized in our communities, to support those still fighting for freedoms we take too often for granted, to try to find that elusive peace, to help bring comfort to those who remain cold and hungry, to understand the obligation we all have to our collective humanity, and to live up to the enduring duty that the Christmas story has placed upon each one of us. May the light of Christmas keep piercing through the darkness, and may we allow this spirit to keep guiding us throughout the year ahead. I wish you and your loved ones a very Merry Christmas.
Earlier today, the Clare senior hurling team played their first game of the new year when they entertained neighbours Limerick in the Munster Senior Hurling League at Tulla. Pat O Brien was there for Scariff Bay Community Radio and he sent us this report.
This is Pat O Brien at Dr. Daly Park, Tulla, reporting on the first round of the Co-op Superstores Munster Senior Hurling League at Dr. Daly Park, Tulla today at 2 p.m. Clare are at home to near neighbours Limerick, and referee is Conor Dyle from Tipperary. Limerick and Clare clashes are usually spicy, so we're looking forward to a good game here today. The weather is bitterly cold, but it's nice and dry. After a dry week, the pitch will be in good condition, and as always, Tulla is always in good condition. Tulla J Club, of course, had our facility in top order for the game. And the referee got the game going anyway at 2 p.m. Very even first half, 6 points all after 15 minutes. Then Matt Rogers put a beautiful ball across the square for Shane Meehan to get the first goal of the game. Clare had a 3 points lead running up to half time when a defensive mistake by the Clare backs allowed Donegal dueling in for a Limerick goal. Points from Matt Rogers and Jack O'Neill left Clare leading by 2 points at half time. Clare won 12, Limerick won 10. After the break, Limerick took the lead with another goal from Donegal dueling. It was tit for tat after that, but then Jack Cowan took a great ball in midfield, cut through the Limerick defence and batted to the net to put Clare into the lead again. Then a short time later, Jack Cowan, who was very impressive in the first half, he scored 2 beautiful points from Clare and was very impressive, got injured. An accidental injury. He was down for about 10 minutes and he had to be taken off the pitch in a stretcher. When the game was held up for 10 minutes, when Jack Cowan got the injury, when the game resumed, in both sides was exchanged points, with Fintan Fitzgerald a sub for Limerick, cutting in for a goal heading into the final minute. Limerick led by a point, and then Oran Cahill, a sub for Clare, was brought down in the square after a great run by David Fitzgerald. The ref blew for a penalty, and Matt Rogers rifled to the net for a 2 points win. Clare 320, Limerick 318. The game was entertaining, and the game as was winter hurling really, as was fellas going the first game of the year and in cold conditions. You couldn't expect a classic, but there was some nice skill from both sides. Now Clare played Cork in Mallow on Monday, the 12th of January at 7 o'clock. On next Wednesday night, Limerick will play Cork in the Gaelic grounds under lights as well. So it will depend on how those games will go and who will qualify for the final. I suppose just to go on the scores now, we'll just give the scores there. Mark Rogers scored 111 for Clare. He was hitting the frees as well, and he was only running from frees, and he was dangerous anytime he got into in normal play as well. Jack Cowan, as I said before, there scored a great goal from a great run, and he scored two points as well. So he's got 1-2. Jack O'Neill from Clooney Quinn got 2 points. Dale Fitzgerald got a point. Shane Meehan got a goal and a point. Keith Smith got a point. And Ryan Taylor from midfield also scored in the first half. For Limerick, then Tom Morrissey scored 3 points. John English on the wing, he got a point. Donegal Dawley got 2 goals and a point. Aidan O'Connor was only airing from frees, and he got 6 points. Dylan O'Shea, the wing back, also scored with Darragh O'Donovan in the middle of the field, was also impressive. Both teams changed a lot of players in the second half. Limerick got Old Hegarty, Matt Fitzgerald and Fintan Fitzgerald and Shane O'Brien. So Peter Casey also came on as a sub and scored a point when he came on. Clare in the second half, they brought in Peter Duggan, got a great point from a sideline ball. Dermot Switch from Clonlara came on as a sub as well. Carl Malone was a sub, and Oran Cahill. Overall, I suppose both sides will be happy enough with the first game of the year, and it'll be good practice for the start of the league. Mark Sheedy was in goal for Clare. I'll just give the Clare line out there now. Mark Sheedy was in goal for Clare. He's on 6 Mile Bridge. He was the Clare under 20 goalkeeper last year. You had Shane Woods from Heineken in the morning. Conor Cleary at full back, and Rory Hayes and Rush Tones at the other corner. Owen McMahon from St. Joseph's to Bayfield is the son of Sean McMahon's the former Clare centre half back. Diarmuid White from Cracklow was centre half back, and you had John Keneally on the other wing. Darrell Owen, Rush Tones in midfield, and Ryan Taylor from Clooney Quinn was also at midfield. You had Jack Kelman on the wing, Jack O'Neill centre forward, and David Fitzgerald on the other wing. And then you had Shane Meehan in the corner, Keith Smith at full forward, and Mark Rogers. A few of the new young players impressed. Brian Lohan will be planning to have a fairly big panel, and he'll probably have to cut him later on in the year. But I suppose he'll be giving as many players game time now and see how they'll work out. Just for the Limerick team, you had Colin Ryan from Pellestrine in the goal. You had Vincent Harrington, the PSC cornerback. Sean Casey. Buff was full back, and Eddie Stokes from Dunes and the other corner. You had Darrell Lanigan from Monaghan as wing back, Carl O'Neill from Cricora centre half back, and Dylan O'Shea from Garrick's Plain on the wing. Ethan Hurley and Darragh O'Donovan were in midfield. Darragh O'Donovan from Doon, and well known, he's a few All-Ireland medals. And O'Shane Farrell in the wing from Askeaton, Tom Morrissey a hand centre forward, and John English from Garrick's Plain. Donegal Darling and Monaghan, Aidan O'Connor and Billy Brown full forward, and Paddy Donovan from Effins in the other corner. Their leading scorer was Aidan O'Connor. He was taking frees. Donegal Darling he scored 2 goals and a point. Tom Morrissey scored 3, and John English and Darragh Donovan got a point each. And the wing back Dylan O'Shea he went up the field in the first half and got 2 points. Overall, it's a good workout for both teams. And they'll be hoping for bigger things maybe later on the year, probably both sides. That's all from Pat O Brien at Dr. Daly Park, Tulla, for the Munster Senior League first round game, which is sponsored by the Co-op Superstores.
You've been listening to News Extra on Scariff Bay Community Radio. Join us again next weekend and we will keep you updated on local events. This is Ursula Hogan for Scariff Bay Community Radio.